This video will illustrate a couple of methods to calculate volumes inside of Point Cloud, whether using the Point Cloud data or survey points. Open your project and let's go ahead and import a Point Cloud. So in this case, it's a stockpile volume. Perfect. Go find the Point Cloud here. All right, it's gonna open. Okay, so confirmation here, this project I flew in Iowa, so stapling coordinate system, Iowa North. Now notice that automatically it knows the location of the ortho mosaic. US survey feed, those are units, perfect. Let's go ahead and keep the defaults here and open the scene viewer. All right, so there's basically the project file. Very simple stockpile area. All right, so before we do anything else right now, let's check the settings. We want to go into CAD settings and make sure that you have automatically draw all points, polylines, and text to CAD. Good, perfect. So first step here, we're going to draw a polyline to define the boundary of the stockpile. I'm going to give it that layer name. Click New. And you can go as tight as you want in here. Now this is drafting a 3D polyline, right? So let's click around here. Let me fast forward. Perfect. And now we're going to just go ahead and right click, close polyline. Okay, so we have defined the boundary of our stockpile. Now we are going to run the volume calculations. So let's go back to the Action tab under Extract, Volumes. All right, we can keep the selection, which will just select the point clouds in the stockpile area, the points in the point cloud. We also use a base elevation. We can go click here. So in this case, I want to use that. So what else can we do? We can do a save base tin and scan tin. So basically generate the TIN files for that. Okay, so let me go back here, click on the screen pick, and we're going to use that foundational level. So let me round it up to 1258. All right. Now units, we're going to stay in feet, and let's go ahead and save the triangulations. We can actually use them later if we want to. We can go back to CAD for that. All right, and now we're prompt to select the polyline boundary. Notice the selection set. So we're just going through the calculations right now. And let me just fast forward a little bit here. All right. It's done. So notice we'll get a report right away of our cut and fills, and it depends on which one's higher or lower to see how much, in this case, should be filled. All right, so let's click on continue here. So the first question here is, what is the base tin file name? Again, we're going to save this into the Carlson project folder. So let me just go ahead and give it a quick name here. All right. Yep. Much better, base tin. Okay, let's click save. All right, and now the scan tin. Scan tin is basically the stockpile area. All right, so we're going to call that one stockpile tin. Click save. Now this will open a report, so let's go ahead and make sure we save the report. By default, we have multiple options, so go ahead and select what you want. In my case, I'm going to go for cut volume, fill volume in cubic yards. Let's do the area in acres, and let's keep it like that. What you want to do here now is click on the add button in the middle. If you want to add something else to the report, feel free to do so. Right, now that we have it there, let's go ahead and click on display. This is your standard editor that you see in other places in Carlson Civil, Carlson Survey. Now you have other views. For instance, we can go a spread view, which will open this kind of in that spreadsheet format. If you click on export, you get options to go XML, CSV, or like spreadsheet format if you wish directly. All right, I want to say cancel out of there. Let's hit OK out of this one. And you also have another one, report viewer, which it'll look kind of a PDF format if you wish. And then what happens if you like it, going to the save button, there's a couple of options there. And you want to save down as a PDF as an example. This is a quick way of creating a PDF report out of this. I'm going to click OK. Let's go back to display here. And then, of course, as always, you have an option to save the report. So this will be an ASCII file. Let's keep, let's go to a different name a little bit here. Stockpile tin or stockpile volume. It's good. Click save. All right, and then if you want to, you can also send it over to CAD. So click on the kind of the sheet with the pencil. So let's place it as M text. I'm going to put it here on the side, just like so. You're being prompted for the alignment, so I'm just going to hit enter all through. And we're back here. We can close this one, and we can close out of here. Let's take advantage of the fact that we have that point cloud selected. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create another cloud out of this. We're going to isolate the specific stockpile. Now, the idea behind this is once we isolate it, we just extract contours just for the stockpile. Different ways of doing it. You could do contours for the entire site. So there we go. So we have it isolated as its own cloud. Now we can go to the Action tab, go Contours, and we have a few options here. So we can go by interval. So, standard, let's do 2 feet on those. Elevation, of course, means a contour at a specific elevation. I do want to do index contours to differentiate. We can do a little bit of the simplification here. So let's do the meander reduction factor. We're going to have many triangles here, so we want to reduce a little of that. Also reduce before Bezier. And we're going to apply a little smoothing factor. Let's use 2 for now. We can reduce vertices too, or more importantly, we can also draw contours to CAD right away. All right, so let's go ahead and hit OK. And this might take a second or two, so let me go ahead and fast forward. All right, so it's finished. I'm being prompted for layer names. So I'm going to go in here and let's go ahead and type a contour name. If you had preloaded layers into your Point Cloud Manager project, you could click on Select, and then you can, tap from the list or pick from the list. So there's on V contours, and let's do the index as V contours IDX. Let's keep it simple. Go ahead and hit OK. And this will commit the contour lines also into CAD. So let's go ahead and save the Point Cloud project, and if we want, yep, there you go. So let's minimize there, and you can see the contour lines now in CAD. Now, because there aren't any colors defined there per se, we can go back in CAD and just assign colors to the layers. So I had the boundary for the stockpile, and now let's go ahead and assign some colors to the intermediate and index contours there. I'll just keep the same colors. All right. And there you go. Now, as we saved the triangulation side of the point cloud, different way of doing things in CAD would be, let's use Carlson Survey. We would actually place the contours in CAD from the TIN file, right? So if you didn't extract the contours in the point cloud, you can come here and do it. Now we have 2 surfaces. We have the kind of the full site surface and the base surface, if you wish, and the stockpile surface. So let's go ahead and use that. So I open the triangulation command, and let's go ahead and pick I preload some settings that I have in here. We keep those layers. I want to make that 2, which means the index is going to be 10. I turn on some of the smoothing factors like Bezier, and do the meander reduction. We might want to do maybe outlier reduction filter too. All right, and let's keep the smoothing at 3. It's good, and let's hit OK. Let's just let the software draw the contour lines in CAD. All right, and here we are. Oh, I forgot to turn on draw labels, but you can see there the result. I should have changed my settings for text size. Now that said, let's do something a little different, and we can do it again, but this time instead of doing all the points in the point cloud the way we did it just now by calculating volumes in the Point Cloud Manager, what we can do now is maybe go around and place points. So that will go from millions of points in the point cloud to maybe a few hundred, a couple of thousand, depends on the settings. So for that, let's go back to the Action tab. We'll go into Points. We're going to go into Survey by Grid. All right, so point description. I have a special code in my field code table, XPC, for ground shot point cloud. Then I like to do a high number, so something like 5,000 here. Now, this is going to be computer time, so what cell size you want to use is up to you. Let's go ahead and keep it simple here. So something like that. If you want to go 1 foot 1 by 1 or half by half, whatever, it's again computer time. Now we're doing it on the point cloud that we isolated, so we're just extracting that little area. For the rest of the site, we can come back later to the other one, do an exclusion, and just extract maybe not at a 3 by 3, but maybe at a 50 by 50, right? And then once we have all the points, we'll triangulate in CAD and generate a new set of contour lines. And there we go, it's done. We have all the points in there. So we're getting, that many points. And as I was going to preview, hit OK, and that will commit the points into the CAD file. Of course, we're going to be asked for the points layer. I'm not using the association to the CRD file in this case, but I do want to add the points here into the CRD for work later. All right, so this will take a second or two. It's going to have to bring those, few thousand points into CAD. So let me fast forward. So I minimized the point cloud here. And we're in CAD, so let me go ahead and free some of the layers so we can see all the points. So again, there's the few thousand points that we brought in from the point cloud. All right, so now to get the remaining, what I'll do is open the original scene. Let's go back to that one. We had the stockpile and all the other points. Now we're going to use the boundary line that we did for the stockpile as an exclusion, right? So we'll go back to points on the action tab. We're going to do survey by grid again. And again, the idea is this time we're going to use exclusion to say don't place any points. And again, the grid size, something like 50 by 50. Let's go ahead and pick the polyline we drew for the stockpile earlier. There it is, stockpile 1. I'm not going to do the preview this time, so just hit OK. And there we have all the points. So it's committing the points to CAD. All right, so I'm back in CAD. I closed out of the point cloud now. We have all the points that we need. So let's go ahead and do what we would do in CAD normally. We go ahead and create this one, layer name, B dash. Something like that, that's fine. And 2D polyline, so we're gonna do a boundary line for the triangulation, and medium is fine. So let's hit OK here. Perfect. Let's go ahead and select all the points in there. I'll draw the line. There we go. All right, so now let's go back into surface, triangulate and contour. Let's give it a name. So we want to write triangulation file. And again, this is just a different method. So if you don't want to do the triangulation with the millions of points inside of that point cloud to calculate the volume, you want something smaller, you want like a simpler contour lines or so, just be a perfectly normal, viable way of doing it. And again, you notice we use that survey by grid to, do very kind of a good resolution for the stockpile, and then we didn't need that many points for the rest of the site. All right, so I'm going to finish up here with layer names. All right. I'm just trying to be consistent here so we're not overwriting things here and there. So we'll have separate layers. That is good. And there we go. We're going to do that. Let's keep everything else correct. All right. Let's go ahead and hit OK. So that is an inclusion. We don't have any exclusions. Now we need to select all the points and the boundary line, and we're going to let it run. All right, I turned on the ortho image again. Another reference real quick. If you want, you can go to view, and we can do a 3D view, drawing viewer, just to see the contour lines in 3D. Good idea of what we have. And again, this would be smaller contour lines compared to what we would get from the point cloud. Let's bring in the surface. And this is the one we just created here. Back there, show the grid, and there you go. All right, so now we're done that, let's go ahead and calculate the volume inside of CAD. So remember, we had the surfaces that we created in the point cloud. Different ways of doing it. We could have done a triangulation just at the points that we got from the stockpile, and then another triangulation for the rest of it. We were using an elevation, but in this case, we generate the surfaces out of the point cloud. So this is just run the volume by two surfaces command. How you got there, we took this path. So let me go ahead and select surface number 1. Let's do that. Surface number 2, we're not going to do any exclusions here. There we go. And let's hit OK. And that'll be your standard volume report that we get in Carlson Survey, Carlson Civil, or even the construction software. Let's go ahead and place it in CAD. Just like so. And again, if you were doing it in the point cloud, just add more of the parameters or the variables that we have there, and you would get pretty much the same thing.